The 12 steps have changed many lives. Put together by a couple of struggling alcoholics, the 12 steps of recovery have opened the door to a new way of life for many. Step 9 is sometimes a tough one. Make direct amends to such people wherever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. Hi, I'm Beth Wee in the Koinonia Kitchen, and we want to talk about some of the things that go through our minds before we consider making these amends. First of all, what's an amend? A direct amend is when we take personal responsibility for our actions, and we're willing to face confront the person with whom we've had a problem. That sounds so hard when you're in the beginning stages of recreating your life without an addictive substance or behavior. But I promise you, when you get to step 9, it will make sense. But today, let's talk about some of the things that we fear. Are you afraid to make amends? Do you think that if you go to someone and ask to be heard or ask to have a moment with them, that you'll be rejected? I can't promise you that that won't happen. But it's not about what will happen to you from the other person. It's about what will happen to you in spite of the other person. You are setting the record straight. You are, as they say, cleaning up your side of the street. No matter, think about it. Think about a ghetto neighborhood. If someone spent time cleaning up one side of the street, would the street look better? And you have to say yes. It wouldn't look perfect, but it would look better. And if that person maintained the cleanliness of that side of the street, the person on the other side of the street would start to take notice. And if time went by and that one side of the street was now growing flowers and bringing new people to the area, the other side of the street would probably change. It would be affected. That's not the reason we're doing it. We're doing it for the flowers and the people that we're going to bring to our side of the street. But know this. Nothing that you do to affect the quality of your life is simply for yourself. Other people will be affected. When you talk about the 9th step, some people think, I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I can face this one person. And it's true. It's a completely different part of surrender when you touch the life of someone else by saying, I was wrong. I undervalued you. I treated you with disrespect. I am sorry, and I don't know that you'll ever forgive me, but I am not going to do that to anyone else. And I'm going to be a better person because of the injury I caused you. I'm going to change everything about my life because I don't want to be the person that would injure someone like you. Now, that sounds kind of heavy, I know, but where's the surrender in that? You know, when you break apart the word surrender, sur, the prefix, S-U-R, means over and above. So think of like surpass, surmount, over and above, okay? And then render, it means to make. So when I surrender, I get over and above what I could make on my own. The surrender to make the amend has no guarantee. But I do tell you this, when you surrender, you will get more than you can make on your own. Which brings me to financial amends. Some of you are worrying, saying, I don't have enough money to pay my bills right now. How am I going to make the financial amends for the things I did in the past? And all I can tell you is that's between the higher power and you. The willingness to make the amend is what this is about. The willingness to make it right. Do you get that? Making amend is making it right. You know, we talked about the direct amends, but what about the living amends? Because when you show other people that you've really changed, that you've had a metanoia moment, which is a complete change in your life, they're going to notice. There's going to be a new commitment. There's going to be a new way of thinking. There's going to be the destructive behaviors you had before, they're going to be gone. And people are going to see that. So the living amend is going on for everyone in your life. The financial amend, yeah, it's going to be something you're going to have to do. I've had situations where I've seen all kinds of financial amends being made. Sometimes you can't make the amend to the institution that you feel that you owe money to, but you can take the intention of the institution and make a donation regularly in an anonymous way to satisfy that. The amend is between you and your higher power. The other person is involved only because what you're giving them is the integrity that every human being is due. You're giving them their integrity back. You're saying, what I robbed from you was more than money, was more than emotional balance. What I robbed from you was your integrity. I treated you as if you didn't matter. And what I need you to know is I know that you do. I know that you matter a lot. Does it really matter how the amend is received? Well, I'll be honest with you. In the moment, it does. When you've been through one where the person wouldn't receive your amends, which I've been through, it's painful. But I'll tell you what, it still relieves the pressure of the offense. Do you got that? It relieves the pressure of the offense. Okay, it's like a bottle that you pop the top and it overflows. Sometimes the bottle won't overflow and you have everything you had at the beginning after you make the amend. Sometimes the bottle overflows with the anger of the other person or the inability to receive your amend of the other person. And you end up with less in the bottle than you had at the beginning. But all I can tell you is the bottle will be refilled because the top is off. It's not about how much was in the bottle. It's only about getting the top off. I hope that makes sense to somebody because it makes perfect sense to me. But sometimes my analogies lose people in the process. You know, we're going to have to talk about forgiveness. In the 9th step, forgiveness is key. Forgiveness means giving up the desire to punish. Now, you can talk about that with your sponsor or your community or your 12-step group. You can talk about that ad infinitum. But the one I want you to talk about is forgiving yourself. You hurt people you loved. You acted in ways that are not the way you want to be perceived. They're not the way you feel in your heart. Forgive yourself. What does that mean? It means stop punishing yourself. Stop talking yourself down. Stop the negative self-talk. Stop using the drug or the behavior that is detrimental to your health. Stop and let yourself off the hook. You know, it's funny. The last thing I wanted to talk about with step 9, when I hear the step read, there's often a mistake that's made by, I would say, more than half the people that read the step. May direct amends to such people wherever possible. So many people will say whenever possible. Why is that an issue? Whenever possible kind of gives you the idea it's whenever you get to it, whenever you run into them, whenever you decide. Wherever possible means God's in charge of the timing. Wherever could be a place, wherever could be a time, wherever could be a heart sentiment, when your heart is right. Wherever means God's timing is in the mix. And that's when the step 9 amend will be at its best. Is it for the other person? A little bit. Is it for you? Yes, it's for you. Who do you want to be? All we have to do is restore our broken past, resolve the issues we've had with others, and live into the amends to the higher power. Because God created you to be way more, and we can't wait to see what that is. It's time to take addiction out of the shadows and shine the encouraging light of recovery on everyone affected. Good Seed Podcast is powered by BethWE.com, a nonprofit ministry based in Vero Beach, Florida. We'll start the uncomfortable conversations that turn despair into hope and complacency into action. Connect, communicate, and thrive with us. Check us out online at BethWE.com. Thanks for tuning in. We'll talk again soon.